Hi, my name is Miller Fouch, and I'm an educational consultant for the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. I work on the Tennessee Behavior Supports Project, and we work with K-12 public schools in Tennessee on setting up positive behavior supports in schools. So we thought we might do some tips for supporting positive behavior at home, since some of us are facing some uncertainties in our houses, and hopefully provide some tips and tricks that can help you all. I am going to provide some things that not only are research-based and things we help schools with, but also some things that I'm doing here at my own house with my two daughters. So hopefully you'll find them helpful and you can use them or refine them or edit them to work for your home as well. So the first thing that I would say is you need to set up clear expectations. Those are helpful not only for me as an adult, but also for students and kids. So define what those look like for your house. If your student happens to go to a school that does use RTIB or PBIS, try to use those same school-wide expectations when developing your home expectations. If you do not have those at your school, just set up like a family motto or slogan that you guys are going to go by. So for my daughters, they go to a school that has what they call the Fantastic Four. And the Fantastic Four are be safe, be kind, be respectful, and be responsible. So on our first day of homeschool here at our house, we talked about what those things look like at school and what they look like here at home right now. My daughter talked about how she could be safe at school by following the line and keeping her hands to herself. And then we talked about what that looks like at home. Things like keeping 4 on the floor. She likes to rock her dining room chair back and forth in an unsafe way, but also keeping our hands to ourselves here. You could also talk about being safe by washing your hands, since that's a big thing to focus on right now. So those are just kind of some of the things we talked about, and then they did pictures of what that looks like for them. The other thing I want to say is that some schools have matrices where they define what these behaviors look like in certain areas. You could do that for your home as well. This is an example of a home matrix. This is super helpful for our kids that struggle with behavior or even kids that are on the spectrum. It clearly defines the expected behavior for each location and connects it to the expectation. If you do a matrix, please remember to do these positively and cut out the negative language. I have trouble with that here in my own house sometimes. I say lots of no's and don'ts, and really we should be focusing on the expected behavior instead of focusing on what isn't right. So this is an example of a home matrix. There's also one here that uses pictures, as you can see on the left. Be helpful, be responsible, and be respectful. So those are some examples there. Here's another blank one that we would use. This would be one that my daughter's school has used. So you can see those expectations on the left. Be safe, be kind, be respectful, and be responsible. So you can edit those to work for your house and then have the kids fill them in. This is another thing that I really like, and it's clear expectations for working from home. All of a sudden, we found all of us in this house together, right? My husband is working from home, I'm working from home, and we have kids that are here, and I'm very thankful for that. But we have to set up clear expectations. I like this graphic. It was shared by BIAS, the Behavioral Interventions and Solutions group, on their social media page. It's a nice visual of what you can put up when you're ready and what it looks like when it's time to stop and focus on work. I know at our house we had to set up, if my husband's office door is shut, that means he has meetings and he cannot be disturbed. We can't go in there, we can't yell near his door, we can't knock on his door. But if his door is open, then that means he's available to talk or to help or get us a snack or things like that. So make sure you talk about these as a family and set them up. The next thing to do is have a family meeting. So you're going to have to talk about these things. You want to talk about the expected behaviors or your family motto or slogan and what that's going to look like. So this is what the schools do a really nice job on, is talking about expected behaviors. You're going to demonstrate the expected behavior and role play them a little bit and make sure that your kids know what it is that's expected, okay? The other thing is you want to explain not only positive reinforcers and also consequences in your house. If those aren't already clear, it's a good time to talk through those things. So an example of positive reinforcers, what we're doing here at our house, as you can see at the top right. So our last name is Fouch. So we have Fouch family Coronacation tickets. So we kind of joke about it a little bit, keep things light. So over there on the right, it's kind, be safe, be respectful, and be responsible. These connect back to those 4 school expectations again. So if we're going to give one to somebody, we're going to mark which area we're recognizing them for, As you can see below that, my younger daughter gave one to my older daughter, and on the back of the ticket, she wrote Y. So she put like art. My older daughter had complimented my younger daughter on a piece of artwork that she did. We're gonna hang these on our bedroom doors. It should be cyclical, right? So my daughters are giving them to each other. My husband and I are giving them to our daughters. And then last night, one of our daughters even gave one to us. So that's what we're doing for positive reinforcement in our house, is that verbal praise and then the display of the ticket that we got. Choose something that works for your house. You could do points, you could do sticker charts. There's Home Dojo. So if you're already using Dojo in your school, you know, there's an option to do those for home as well. Just make sure it's defined. Don't worry about having a ton of tangible things they can earn right now. Obviously, we can't get out and get to the store and get those kinds of things, but it could be something like they could earn where they sit at the dining room table, or they could earn and pick the movie for the night, or maybe they earn a snack, things like that. Maybe more, you know, screen time or something like that. So get creative with that, but don't super stress about it. Another thing I would like to say is set up a schedule. Your schedule can work for your family. Just choose something that works for you. I know for me, I like consistency, and we have to have a schedule because I'm working. So on the left is the schedule we use for day one. It's a little more rigid, but that's because I had several meetings that day. I wanted something my daughters could go back to if I was busy and see what the next activity was. The schedule on the right has the first few things that we had to get done in the day, and then on the bottom, they have more choice. So it's nice to have choice, especially right now in a time when we don't have a lot of choice and a lot of things are out of our control. Give me a little bit of choice when I can have it. So they have all the activities that they have to get done, and then they mark them off as they do them, but they get to choose what order they're in. So that's just something I would recommend. If you have somebody who is a non-reader or who needs a visual schedule, there's lots of resources for that online. You could even do a first then schedule if that's something that appeals to you. Do something that works for you, okay? Step 4 is consequences. We got to talk about consequences. Problem behaviors are going to occur. I stress to you to please step back and take a deep breath, because there's a lot of inconsistency in our world right now, and that is going to trickle into our houses. But when problem behaviors occur, please remember to remain calm. Reflect back and remind your child of the expectation. Maybe it's those home expectations you've set up. How does it connect to your family motto? You want to reteach and model the expected behavior. Make sure that your child knows that expected behavior, maybe model it for them, and use consequences appropriately. Decide ahead of time as a family what consequences there will be for the problem behaviors. So I hope this has been helpful. We have a lot more information on our websites. If you're interested in that at all, we are a cross-state project, so our websites are listed here. Please reach out to us if you need any help or additional information. And thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.